So our session going on nanotechnology, we know. So we have to recall for 5 to 10 minutes, and later on we have to start our next session. So in nanotechnology, you have to learn notable name of scientists and their contribution. It's also be important concerning your exam point of view. Like I have to say that the term nanotechnology that was given by Norio Taniguchi, he coined the term nanotechnology. But we know about the concept of nanotechnology that was introduced by Richard Feynman in his talk, in his lecture at Caltech. He says that there are plenty of rooms at the bottom. He talked about keeping the world at the tip of needle, and that's why he considered as father of nanotechnology worldwide. Next we have to say that Dr. C.N.R. Rao, Chintamani Nagesha Ramchandra Rao, he is also considered as father of Indian nanotechnology. His work in solid state chemistry, material science, I have to say that C.N.R. Rao also work in carbon nanotube, and they have to also work in inorganic nano scale. We know about National Nanotechnology Initiative of India that's are launched in 2001 under the guidance of Chintamani Nagesha Ramchandra Rao, and also including Nano Mission in 2007. It's also started under the guidance of C.N.R. Rao, and that's why we achieve third position worldwide. So there is a remarkable work of C.N.R. Rao, in field of nanotechnology. So that's why we have to learn the name, notable scientists and their contribution. Mr. Nano, Eric Drexler. He's working in develop to concept of nanorobot, and by this we have to build up structure we know about, and we have to also manipulate the matter at nanoscale. Mr. Nano, Eric Drexler. So it's all about notable scientists concerning nanotechnology. And later on we have to also discuss about some milestones in nanotechnology development, like microscope. So the two microscopes that play a vital role in nanotechnology development, first is STM and second is FM. Scanning tunneling microscope, that's a tool that's allowed scientists to see individual atom and manipulate them at nano scale. That was developed by Gerd Wienig and Heinrich Rohrer. By this they have also get Nobel Prize in 1986. Later on, atomic force microscope. By this we have to examine the internal cancerous cell, and also making 3D dimensional image by atomic force microscope. It's a two microscope, we have to learn their name, because discovery of two microscope that's play a new dimension in field of nanotechnology. That's why we have to say that you learn milestones. Some questions also we mention in men's level, that what are the milestones in nanotechnology development. So we have to focus on that areas, like development of nanomedicines, nanosensors, biosensors, we have to say that drug delivery system, we have to say that so many electrodes of carbon like graphene, fullerene, CNT, that's also used in medicine industry. So development of nanomedicine, development of nano electronics to improve the display quality, to improve the flexible electronics. I have to say that Nokia company and make a new substance known as MORPH. It's at self-charging capacity, and that's are also used in mobiles. So it means we have to say that nanotechnology also goes on in mobile field. MORPH. They have to also generate nanoscale, and by the nanoscale structures we have to imaginate every shape of your mobile as you like. You can change the shape of mobile. So it's a unique invention concerning a mobile of nanotechnology. So it's all about nanotechnology. That's a milestone. Development of self-molecular assembly, development of nano fabricating materials, and establishment of National Nanotechnology Initiative that was established first time 2001 by United States government, and that's main aim to provide funding, research and development of nanotechnology. It's our milestones concerning nanotech. We have also studied in back session. One more things, study also need strategy. We see quality, not quantity in study. If you recall, recap every time, every session, so never forget, because we know forgetfulness is common in every person, and science and tech have a difficult term, difficult name. So how we can learn? So by recall, by recession, we know, by review, bird's eye view, we have to learn all names concerning biotechnology, nanotechnology, science and technology. I have to say that. And later on we have to study about allotropes of carbon, and we start from graphene. So its structure is important concerning. It's a two-dimensional network of carbon atoms. As we talking about graphene, in which carbon atoms are linked hexagonal lattice arrangement. You know, I have also seen the structure of graphene. One atom thick layer, and it is world thinnest and strongest material of the world. As we talking about graphene, obviously when we talking about their properties, it's have a optically transparent in nature. Obviously, and in hydrophobic in nature. Optically transparent matlab it absorbs 2% light only, and we have like its transparent efficiency is greater than glass and plastic. The transparent efficiency of graphene greater than glass and plastics. It's the essence of graphene, we have to say that. And we have to also study about electrical feature, mechanical feature of graphene, thermal feature of graphene, and later on we have to study application, because their application, when questions asked in men's level, what the application of nanotechnology, so we have to also attach some graphene use, some carbon nanotube use, some fullerene use in application of nanotechnology. Graphene, it's a good conductor of electricity. In graphene, electrons can move here easier manner than that of copper. It means we say about the efficiency of movement of electron in graphene greater, 60% greater than that of copper. Graphene also be used as a thermal conductor. It's a good thermal conductor, and by this we have to say that graphene based chip in transistors produce less heat. So many we know chips that are used in transistor made up of graphene, because of they produce less heat. Mechanical property, we have to say that it's hardest than diamond and 300-200 times stronger than steel. It's a mechanical properties of graphene. And when we talking about application of graphene, so we know about its hydrophobic in nature. So that's why it is also used in automobile component for anti-rusting purpose, because they have to reduce the oxidation rate which occurs in rusting because of water repelling nature, hydrophobic nature. I have to say that concerning graphene. Any other application of graphene? Any other application of graphene? If you have learned now, any other of graphene? Yeah, obviously due to flexible nature, graphene also used in touch screen. We know it's also improve our display technique like LCD, like LED, like OLED. We know organic light emitting diode, curved TV. In this graphene are uses. So it's all about application of graphene. And later on we study about carbon nanotube. It's a tube-like structure. When graphene are rolled and make a tube-like structure known as carbon nanotube. CNT, that's main use. It's also be a good conductor of electron. And CNT, that's also used in buckypaper. We know about buckypaper are also used in fire. Yeah, obviously it protect fire. Buckypaper, I have to say that. Buckypaper, that's a made up of carbon sheet of CNT, carbon nanotube, and we know it is 50,000 thinnest, 50 times we know thinnest, as like we know your hair, human hair, 50,000 times we know thinnest If you comparison to your hair, it's about buckypaper made up of carbon nanotube. 50,000 we know times. क्या है ये? Thinner है. As like we know human hair. That's also be made by carbon nanotube. Due to penetrate capacity of membrane, it's also used in treatment of cancer. Carbon nanotube. So it's all about CNT, and later on fullerene, it's a spherical. CNT is one dimensional. You have say about two dimensional. One dimensional in structure. Buckyball, we know Buckminster Fullerene. Buckminster, he's an architect of an America, and he make a dome which structure are look like similar to Fullerene. That's why name become Buckminster Fullerene. And we know about its application. That's also we take place in medicine health sector. And already we know about the health sector in India is also be dilapidated. So that's why if you examine health sector concerning fullerene, we have to elaborate yourself, like we say about drug delivery system. Drug delivery system during chemotherapy, we know that radiation also be damage your healthy cell. Cancer also be take place after some days. But drug delivery is important. They have to minimize the side effect of medicine. We send medicine interact to only particular cell, only particular tissues. That's the essence of fullerene. Property like antioxidant. They have to also minimize free radicals and keeps our skin healthy. Keeps our skin healthy. Radical sponge also be available in markets. So many fuller creams available in markets for skin purpose. It's a cytoprotector. Cut off UV rays and protect our shell. So it's all about fullerene. It's all about fullerene. Graphene also used in solar cell. Graphene also used in energy storage, and graphene also used in ethanol distillation. We know about gasohol. That's also help in making alcohol based fuel, future fuel obviously. And filter, desalination, remove salt water from water and make them potable water. It means we have to say that graphene also used to filter water, make them pure for drinking purpose, for potable purpose. It's all about graphene, it's all about fullerene, and it's all about carbon nanotube. Within 2 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, we have to recall the session. Everything is set up in your mind. So it's all about learning, recap, bird's eye view. It's a part of study. It's a part of smart study, I have to say that. And we start from, it's all about, we also be name nanoparticles. We know 𝐃𝐢𝐤𝐬𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐭 nanoparticles. 𝐃𝐢𝐤𝐤𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐭 nanoparticles like this. Because it's developed in India. It's also received international patent from Germany. International patent from Germany. And that's used to make drug delivery in the human body. By which fungus we have to extract 𝐃𝐢𝐤𝐤𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐭 particles? Cordyceps militaris. Cordyceps militaris, it's a parasitic fungus, and it's a high, calorific, high, about nutritional value. If you, use Cordyceps militaris fungus, we have to boost your immune system. We have to manage your brain function. Anti-aging agent, I have to say that. Lower blood sugar. It's all about benefit of Cordyceps militaris fungus. Everything is clear. So next we start now. And we also talking about some nanomaterials. We know nanotube, nanowires, nanoporous, nanoparticles, quantum dots. It's all about nanomaterials. So next we start from, today's session is going on, and our main point right now, approaches. Make them important. Approaches in nanotechnology. Approaches in nanotechnology. And if you want to if you want to synthesize, form nanomaterials, you need two approach. If you want to make synthesize nanomaterials like nanotubes, like nanowires, like quantum dots, like we know about every nanomaterials, you need two approach. First is top down approach. And second, we say about bottom up approach. So by these two approaches, we have to say that you make nanomaterials. So it's an important point concerning nanotechnology, make them important. Approaches in nanotechnology, and by this approach we have to make nanomaterials. So what's about top-down approach and what's about bottom-up approach? It's a bottom-up approach and it's a top-down approach. So top-down approach that was developed by Norio Taniguchi, who also coined the term nanotechnology. So right now, the top-down approach developed by Norio Taniguchi. The top-down approaches developed by Norio Taniguchi and bottom-up approaches developed by Eric Drexler, and bottom-up approach developed by Eric Drexler. So he developed bottom-up approach and he developed top-down approach. We know Eric Drexler, also known as Mr. Nano. He considered Mr. Nano, also mentioned this term in interview. Examiner also framed who is known as Mr. Nano in field of nanotechnology. So you have to say that Eric Drexler. His work in to develop the concept of nanorobots. Right now their work efficiency we have to also added in inverted comma. His work in, I have to say that according to Eric Drexler, his work in to develop the concept of nanorobots, that is used to build up structure, and also manipulate the matter, at nano scale, and also manipulate the matter, atom, substance at nano scale. So it's all about Eric Drexler. He's also be notorious scientist, and we have to learn their contribution in nanotechnology. So both approach, one approach that's a top-down approach, that's what given by Norio Taniguchi. He coined the term nanotechnology, and we have to say that bottom approach that was given by Eric Drexler, known as Mr. Nano, and he says about he developed the concept of nanorobots. So what's about top-down and bottom approach? We know about what's about top-down and bottom approach. By figuring method, we have to understand both process. With the help of figure, we have to understand the both process, top-down and bottom-up approach. So it's a top-down, and it's a bottom-up, and it's a bottom-up. So we also make a figure. In top-down approach and bottom-up approach, We have to first know that point in middle section. 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. It's all about nanoscale. It's all about nanoscience. 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. And we again says that with the help of two approach, we have to synthesize, we have to form nanomaterials to achieve that structure. 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter, because we know about, and that structure, every substance have unusual property, novel property, unusual, unknown property, extraordinary property on that size. 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So our main motto is to convert that size, nanoscience, nanoparticles. So in top-down condition, we taking a bulk material, I have to say that we taking a bulk material, and that's bulk material we have to break down into fragment. So top-down condition, we have to take bulk material and we have to break down into fragment. It's a fragment. And later on we have to convert them into nanoparticles. By grinding technique, we know Ayurveda, Indian Ayurveda also forms medicine to achieve these structures. There's have unknown property, treat every disease we know about. So it's a nanoparticles. It's all about nanoparticles. It means we say about top down, we have to break down bulk materials into fragment, into smaller grinding tiny part, and make them nanoparticles. So it's a physical process. Because we know physically we have to break down. It's a time consuming method. When we convert bulk material into nano form, into nanoparticles. So we have to break down, and later on we have to make nanoparticles. But again we have to say that it's taking longer time, and also we know about that's a time consuming method. By this we have to convert bulk into nanoparticles. Physically we have to work. But if you're talking about bottom up approach, in this approach we know about different type of materials device that are constructed and make a new, that are constructed by assemble of molecules, atoms, boson, pi, meson. We have to, they have to self assemble with each other and make a nanoparticles like this. We know about that's a atom. Yeah, we say about molecules. Yeah, we say about boson. Yeah, we say about pi, meson, and they have to combine, make a cluster, and then cluster goes on nanoparticles. In this condition we know about there is no any external agent required. In we say about bottom up approach, molecules have to self assemble with each other. There is no any external agent required to assemble them. Every molecules have to recognize its own particles and combine, form nanoparticles. But both aim to form nanoparticles. As we like top down, as we like bottom up, both approach have to make a nanoparticles. Matlab both approach have to gain a structure that is about 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. It means it's a breakdown process, it's a combining process. So it's a physical process, but it's a chemical process. Because atoms, molecules, boson, meson, pi, meson have to combine chemically. So that's why we have to say that it's a chemical process. Every point I have noted now, लिखवा देंगे उसको, ठीक ना, पहले कंसेप्ट को अच्छे से समझिए. So it's a chemical process because in this condition, atoms, molecules, boson, meson, sub, they have to combine and form a new materials that known as also be considered as nanoparticles. Both segment have to achieve nanoparticles. One is physical method and one is chemical method. So you tell me which one is good? Which one is good? Top down, या we say about bottom up? Bottom up approach. Bottom, because in this condition no any external agent required. All molecules have assembled itself, but in this process physically work done. We have to break down bulk material into fragment and then convert into nanoparticles. It's also taking too much. It's a time consuming method. And we know about it's also be costly. But this is not cost, because in these conditions different materials, different device are constructed by molecules, atoms, boson, meson, pi meson, its own. They have to bind. There is no any, again we have to say that there is no any external agent, physical agent required to assemble them particles and make nanoparticles. So that's why in nanotechnology approach, again we have to say that bottom up approach are used widely comparison to top down. But both approach responsible making nanomaterials. That's why in back session I have provided some knowledge about some name of nanomaterials. Am I clear about top down and bottom up approach? Any doubt concerning both approaches now? Clear? So we have to focus, we have to making a figure of that process, and later on we have to discuss now top down approach. Likhna, next point we have to mention a figure. By figure we have to examine what I am say about, because both motto of approach, that's to gain, that's to achieve 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter structure, because on that structure every substance have unusual property, novel property, extraordinary properties. Like gold, it's golden yellow, and when we convert gold on that structure, it's become reddish brown and also dissolve in water. Aluminium, that's are stable, but when aluminium get that structure, become combustible. So it's a essence of nanoscience. Nanoscience is, it means we say about 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus. Lisa, I am again explain bottom up approach. I have to say that there, in bottom up approach, all atoms, all molecules have to combine chemically, they have to react in this process. All atoms we know about, we are unable to combine atoms, we know about meson, pi meson, boson. They have chemically combined with each other. They have to chemically assemble with each other and form a nanoparticles.
What about the size?
Size also about, भाई एटॉमिक स्केल तक तो हम मिनिमाइज कर लेते हैं. Atomic scale we know about, we have to convert, we know nanoparticles at the atomic matlab 10 to the power minus 9 meter approximate, we have to gain this. We have to approximate about gain this. So don't worry about too many atoms are bind and make a bulk. No, they also make a nanoparticles. Different between that point, it's a physically process we have to break down, like medicine. So Indian Ayurveda have to blending medicine into tiny particles, and later on they have to find out a unique property, unique quality, unusual quality, unknown feature about that materials. So it's also be a process including. Different is here now that in this process we have to convert, combine atoms, molecules, and its own assemble with each other. Chemically they have to assemble, react, and form nanoparticles. Both motto to form nanoparticles, nano size. Both motto is to form nano size. But we have to physically involve in top-down process, and we have to chemically involve in bottom-up approach. The molecules, its own molecules have to interact, on atoms have to interact, recognize itself, and they have to attract with each other. Chemically they have to react. No any external force, no any external agent, no any external factors are involved in that process. So that's why it's a time consuming method. We have to grinding substance, smaller. It's also take time. But it's a chemically process. No any physical barriers, no any physical action take place in that process. Clear, Lisa? And both functions are involved to form nanoparticles. So if questions are framed in your exam, by which methods we have to synthesize, we have to form nanoparticles, by which approach? So we have to mention two approach. First is top down approach, and second we say top bottom approach. One approach is, which approach is physical and chemical? So top down is a physical process, while it's a chemical process. But in this process we have to physically involve and break down bulk material into simplest form. Make them nanoparticles. And in this process we have to not physically involve, we have to combine. Atoms, molecules have its own property to assemble with each other. They have to combine with each other and also generate nanoparticles. Am I clear about this point? So that's a two approach we have to mention, and later on right now next point. It's important concerning your exam point of view. And Lisa, is it clear about bottom up approach? Mention yes or not, dear. So we're talking about right now in top down approach. It's a physical process. Top down may we have to mention now. It's a physical process. In this process, bulk materials break down, bulk substance. In this process, bulk substance break down into fragment. Bulk substance break down into fragment, and later on nanoparticles. लिखना top down method is a top down approach. Next point, top down approach is a time consuming method. Top down approach is a time consuming method. Top down approach is a time consuming method, and it's relatively costly. High cost. Yeah, we say about costly. Clear point? ये तो clear हो गया ना कि that was developed by Norio Taniguchi, and that was developed by Eric Drexler, known as Mr. Nano, who also, Eric Drexler work is also be a pioneer of molecular nanotechnology. If any suggestion, any knowledge that's are provided concerning molecular nanotechnology, that was given by Eric Drexler also. He's a pioneer of molecular nanotechnology. That's why he considered, we know about Mr. Nano. Right now, bottom up approach is a chemical process. Bottom up approach is a chemical process. Bottom up approach is a chemical process. In this approach, a very different type of materials and device, are constructed. Very different type of materials and device are constructed by combining atoms, molecules, by combining atoms, molecules own या self, with self assemble भी mention कर सकते हैं, own या self assemble, self assemble. Next point, bottom up approach required, bottom up approach don't require, bottom up approach don't require any external agent, bottom up approach don't require any external agent to assemble them, because it's a chemically, we know about molecules, we know about atoms, they have to, particular atoms have to recognize itself and they have to combine, they have to assemble, also make a nanomaterials, many materials, many substance, many device, because so many devices are also be used about concerning nano, like we know about buckypaper, it's also be used through, we know that's approach, you know, buckypaper, it is the thinnest, 50,000 thinnest, as thinnest as your human hair. So that's a true approach in field of nanotechnology. We have to learn the concept of top down and bottom up. Am I clear about this approach? Is it clear? Now next point we have to focus now. National nanotechnology initiative of India. National Nanotechnology Initiative of India. So we know about National Nanotechnology Initiative. It's a flagship program. It's a flagship program. You know about flagship? You know about flagship program? By this program, we know that program are regulated by, we know, government, created by government, companies, we know any organization to build up your skill, your improve lifestyle, reduce the poverty. That's why they have to run flagship program, only to build up your skill, lifestyle, remove, we know, poverty, reduce poverty. I have to say that by flagship program. So it's a flagship program of Department of Science and Technology of India, you know, Government of India. So we have to mention now, National Nanotechnology Initiative is a flagship program. National Nanotechnology Initiative is a flagship program of Department of Science and Technology, DST, Department of Science and Technology, DST, Department of Science and Technology of Government of India, of the Government of India. When some questions arise in mains level, है ना, what's our National Nanotechnology Initiative in India, of India? So we have to mention so many lines on that point. It's a flagship program of DST, of Government of India. Next, it was launched in 2001. And you know about National Nanotechnology Initiative of United States government in 2000. That's aim to provide, we know, funding, we know, promote research in nanotechnology development. So what's about aim of National Nano in India, of India? So they have to promote research and development of nanotechnology. So right now, the main aims of NNI, making short form NNI, the main aims of NNI is to provide, the main aims of NNI is to provide, is to promote research and development of nanotechnology, research and development of nanotechnology, research and development of nanotechnology. Next point, also making a heading, main objective of NNI, main objective. It's a crux areas, we have to mention star point, important point. Main objectives of NNI, National Nanotechnology Initiative, main objective. So 2 to 3 main objective. First objective, to promote international cooperation. First right now, to promote international cooperation. International cooperation, to promote research and development of nanotechnology. Matlab by this point, we have to say that they have to interact with international, how they can perform concerning nanotechnology. I have to say that because that's a program conduct under the guidance of your national father of Indian nanotechnology, C.N.R. Rao. It goes on 2001 to I have to say that 2006, and later on nano mission start. So nano mission start from 2007. That's a mission, nano mission start from 2007. It's also be conducted under the guidance of Chintamani Nagesha Ramchandra Rao, and by this mission we achieve third position. After nano mission, we gain third position. America is on first, Japan is on second, and we are on third. There is no place for Russia and Chinese about that field. So it's a remarkable achievement for India. So again we have to say that 2 to 3 science and tech topics that play a vital role in mains level and also including prelims level, like nanotech, space tech, defense sector. It's a main chapters where the questions are framed. And nuclear physics, we also study about space, and we know about fuel concerning renewable, non-renewable sources of energy, and future fuel, clathrate, CBM, coal bed methane, gasohol, green hydrogen. It's your future fuel. आपसे टेक्निक पूछेगा, which technique we have to remove methane gas from clathrate, from coal bed methane. So graphene discovery, it's also a role in generate fuel, because they have to use in distillation of ethanol, ethyl alcohol, I have to say that. So first aim to cooperate international, and by this we have to promote research, development of nanotechnology. Second approach, right now, second objective of NNI, development of human resources, development of human resources like training, testing, and build up program, and build up program. And by this Next point we have to say that main objective that's to promote strong base research center that's have to promote growth of research and development of nano tech, because we need research center na. So next point aims to promote strong base research center, strong base research center to research and development of nanotechnology, to research and development of nanotechnology. That's the main objective of NNI. Cooperate international segment, and by this we have to improve your technology. Development your human resources like nanowires, nanotubes, nanoporous materials also we develop, and also establish, also promote, also establish strong base human research center. By this they have to research and they have to examine new materials of nano, like we know about nanomaterials, nanoparticles, 𝐃𝐢𝐤𝐬𝐻 nanoparticles, that's also be developed by India. That's made to drug delivery in the human body. It's all achievement concerning national nanotechnology. So that's the main aim. I have to say that it's a flagship program. National nanotechnology have to several component like supporting. We know about the key aim of that technology, that process, that's a segment, key role. They have to support to form nanosensors, which can trap the pollutant from environment, which can detect the presence of pollutant inside the environment by nanosensors. So next point right now, point to be noted. The main key support of NNI, the key support of NNI is to the key support of NNI is to produce nanosensors. It's all about important segment. The key support of NNI is to produce nano sensor that detect the presence of pollutant, in the environment, Next point, it also support to make drug delivery system, like Fullerenes and 𝐃𝐢𝐤𝐬𝐻 nanoparticles, drug delivery system, nano fabricating materials, we have to make nano fabricating materials, nano medicine, nano इलेक्ट्रॉनिक. अब देखो शब्दों का जो अटैचमेंट है होना शुरू हो गया ना डियर. हमने नैनो मेडिसिन, नैनो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सब मेंशन किया था ना. नैनो वायर्स, नैनो रोबोट, नैनो tubes, nanoporous, we have to also add on that moment. They have to support that. We have to synthesize, we have to make that of nanomaterials, and by this we have to gain our quality, boost our technique, है ना. And later on we have to also leader, superpower in field of nanotechnology. We also take position of America. We lead world through nanotechnology. So that's why they have to support to make nano wires, nano porous materials, nano tubes, nanoparticles, quantum dots. I have to say that so many. Its main name. So it's all about National Nanotechnology Initiative. We have also noted 2001 to 2006, and later on nano missions start from 2007, and by this we have to achieve our goal, 3rd position. But our main goal is to achieve 1st position. Replace America. It's a essence of technology about NNI. So next point we have to start now and mention application of nanotechnology. By this concept we have to boost your writing skill also, because we know about role of nanotechnology in every field. I have to say that. So later on we have to say that application of different application of nanotechnology. It's all about application of nanotechnology. And if you talking about application of nanotechnology, so we first attention concerning agriculture. In agriculture we have to mention now so many field, we have to mention from that areas. First we say start from agriculture. We have to also mention a chart like structures, and by this chart we have to noted every segment. It's also be a useful for learning point of view, like agriculture, like energy. Mention now like energy, like medicine, like environment, mention this, making a chart from that area, like environment, like cyber security, also we mention, like cyber security we have to mention now. ये मिल तो गया था ना सभी को, या नहीं मिला है अभी तक किसी को? ये क्या बोलते हैं, जो सिलेबस वगैरह था आपको सबको मिला है? नहीं मिला तो ले लेना फर्दर आप नेक्स्ट डे। अच्छा प्रिंटिंग के लिए गया, मेंशन कर लेना एक बार क्योंकि जरूरी है फर्दर वी नो। नेक्स्ट वी से अबाउट फूड। अब देखो फूड में भी हमने बहुत तरह के कंसेप्ट मेंशन किया डियर, एज लाइक वी से अबाउट फूड, है ना। इलेक्ट्रॉनिक देखिए सारे क्वेश्चन याद रहेंगे डियर तो आप इजीली अपने आप को हैंडल कर ले जाएंगे ना। मेरा काम है कि आपको एक बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग प्रोवाइड कर दूं हर एक फील्ड में, और फिर हम लोग इंडिया पॉलिसी की चर्चा कर लेंगे, फ्यूचर की कुछ जो पॉसिबिलिटी है उस पर चर्चा कर लेंगे कि फ्यूचर की भी पॉसिबिलिटी आपसे क्वेश्चन बन सकता है और कुछ इसके डिसएडवांटेज है ना। बट वी हैव टू मेक ब्रॉड in each areas, in each field, that we have to gain your word power. Without word power we are unable to write anything concerning every field. So first that's your priority, we have to gain your word power. Later on we have to systematically arrange the word, make them senseful. So electronic is also be a part of, है ना। national security we know about, cyber security concerning cosmetic, also right now cosmetic, cosmetics, textiles. It is also application in textiles. Textiles. Nano fertilizers we know also including in agriculture, obviously. So it's all about application of nano technology. Clear na? And let's start from agriculture point of view. We start from agriculture because we know about India have to work on two field maximum. First concerning agriculture and second concerning health sector. Our health sector is dilapidated. So we have to focus on health sector and also in agriculture sector because our economy is based on agriculture. And we know about growing population that can reduce the agriculture. Why we say? Because if the population is growing, we are in first position. We have to also take over China concerning population. So that's why we have to make shelter in agriculture land. So we need some soil for crop production. So we need technique at this time concerning as Japan. If you have to make shelter in agriculture land, so how can we have to gain your agriculture crops we know about? So you have to work on, we have to depend on so many technology. It means by technology we have to increase the efficiency of crop production in lower region. By technology, like we know liquid nano urea. We know common urea, its efficiency is 25%. Common urea, we know conventional urea, efficiency is 25%. And when we use liquid nano urea in crops, its efficiency goes on 85 to 90%. And main aims to form liquid nano urea, world first liquid nano urea plant that's are established in Gujarat, 𝐃𝐢𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐿, inaugurated by your Prime Minister. 𝐃𝐢𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐿, first liquid nano urea developed by 𝐼𝐞𝐫. So liquid nano urea, when we use urea, we know about percentage of nitrogen in urea. Say something about percentage of nitrogen in urea. Because we know conventional urea we have to scattered, we have to disperse in our soil. है ना? So what is the percentage of nitrogen in urea? My question is that. And what is the percentage of nitrogen in liquid nano urea? It's a question level. It's a variation in your answer we know about. Because we make them nano form, 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. I have to say that point. So 46% nitrogens are present in conventional urea. 46%. If some unnecessary talk, then we have to make down note down in other pages also, because it's a question level concern. During study, during concept, I have to mention that point. समझ गए ना? ये point we have to mention now. So later on, right now, agriculture sector, the percentage of nitrogen in urea we know that's a 46%. It's all about nitrogen. 46%. And liquid nano urea, it's about 4%. अब सोचो 46% is equivalent to 4%. What's about nano form? And right now the percentage of liquid nano urea is 4%. So it's a different. Here is 46% is equivalent to 4% of liquid nano urea. अरिहंत एनसीईआरटी नोट्स की क्लास कहां से पढ़े प्लीज बताएं. अरिहंत एनसीईआरटी नोट्स की क्लास. देखो डियर, यदि आप अपने साइंस को बिल्डअप करना चाहते हैं, बेसिक साइंस को आप बूस्ट करना चाहते हैं डियर, तो मैं यही सजेस्ट करूंगा कि आप एक बार स्पेशल टाइम नहीं आपके पास, तो आप 9th और 10th स्टैंडर्ड के भी बुक्स को फॉलो कर सकते हैं जो ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी से है, 9th और 10th। कुछ ऐसे टॉपिक्स हैं डियर जो आपको क्लास 12th में जाने होंगे, कुछ ही टॉपिक्स हैं जो क्लास 12th में आपको देखने को मिलेगा, और वो आपका है केमिस्ट्री इन एवरीडे लाइफ। इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स कंसर्निंग एग्जाम, केमिस्ट्री इन एवरीडे लाइफ, पवन। So we have to touch this topic, and later on I have to also mention besides this you have to focus on class 9th and class 10th old NCERT. I have to say old NCERT only. So by this we have to basic information including science like bio, like chemistry, and like physics we have to focus. And when we read NCERT we have to work on region wale question, some region question like why, where, what करके जो question mention in your NCERT, we have to work on that NCERT. So it is clear. Arihant also be a good concerning NCERT notes. So next point we have to focus now. Acha, we know about some questions also be framed. First organic compound that are synthesized in lab. Name of the first organic compound that's synthesized in lab first time. First organic compound, and the first organic compound that's are synthesized in lab, that's are urea. That's are urea, first organic compound. Point to be also noted. First organic compounds synthesized in lab, that's are urea. That's are urea. We know about concerning Berzelius. A scientist name is Berzelius, and he provide a vital force theory. Vital force theory. It means we say that vital force theory that was given by Berzelius, and in his theory he says that human never synthesize, we never synthesize organic substance from inorganic. You know, organic that's we get from living, inorganic that's we get from non-living. So according to Berzelius in vital force theory, he suggests that in lab या in artificially you never synthesize organic from inorganic substance, मतलब living from non-living. You can synthesize organic from organic, not from inorganic. But we know the scientist that's name is Wohler. He have to disintegrate the concept of Berzelius theory, vital force theory. Fuller is a disciple of Berzelius. Disciple, उनके ही शिष्य थे ये, और अपने गुरु के ही कंसेप्ट को डिसइंटीग्रेट कर दिया. दे हैव टू डिसइंटीग्रेट द कंसेप्ट ऑफ वाइटल फोर्स थ्योरी एंड मेक फर्स्ट ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड यूरिया फ्रॉम इनऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंस. Like a process, by this we have to Wohler, we know about Wohler synthesize urea from inorganic, that's ammonium cyanate, NH4OCN. It's an inorganic, non-living substance, and by this they have to heat them in lab and make urea. You know about general formula of urea? NH2 CO NH2. Yeah, we say about NH2 ka twice CO. It's all about urea. So conventional urea have to 46% nitrogen, and later on we have to say that liquid nano urea the percentage of nitrogen is 4%. देखो ऐसे भी डिसाइपल होते हैं जो अपने गुरु के ही कंसेप्ट को डिसइंटीग्रेट कर दिया कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, और उसके वास्ते तो एक होता है ना एनिग्मा, सब्सक्राइबर बढ़ गए, सबको इनकेस इनऑर्गेनिक्स ऑर्गेनिक फॉर्म करना शुरू कर दिया. इसलिए कभी कभी क्वेश्चन टच हो जाते हैं. वी नो अबाउट फर्स्ट ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड दैट्स आर सिंथेसाइज्ड इन लैब, क्योंकि ऐसे क्वेश्चन एग्जामिनर क्या करता है कि मेंशन तो करेगा बीच में और कुछ उसके बारे में वो डाल देते हैं क्वेश्चन. जैसे मान लो लिक्विड नैनो यूरिया से क्वेश्चन आया, तो आपसे मेंशन कर सकते हैं कि व्हाट इज द परसेंटेज ऑफ नाइट्रोजन इन कन्वेंशनल यूरिया एंड लिक्विड नैनो यूरिया, बिकॉज दे हैव टू डिफरेंशिएट देम. द मेन मोटो ऑफ गवर्नमेंट to making plant of liquid nano urea to reduce 50% consumption of conventional urea. It reduced the 50% consumption of liquid conventional urea. Because liquid urea, some witness say that it increased 8% efficiency, 8% efficiency, and help to grow our crops. So it's good because it's in nano form. It's in nano form, making them at 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. They never dissolve in soil. All the plant section, body parts, leaf, stem, pores, they have to absorb nano form and gain itself. So it's a good dimension in field of agriculture by making liquid nano urea. But we know these days remote areas farmer have unaware about that process. If you suggest them you have to use liquid nano urea, they have to say that they are a little amount. How they can produce our crops? Because they have no idea about efficiency of liquid nano urea. Their efficiency 25% and their efficiency is 85 to 90%. So we have to aware now. But no, growing population, that's a hurdle for agriculture, because we make shelter. WHO also mentioned that population goes on and so many zoonotic disease take place in world. Zoonotic, the disease, that's a disease, zoonotic, the disease which transmit from animals in human, that's known as zoonotic, animals to human. Because when population growing on and we have to make shelter by cutting forest, so that animal have to come in contact with us, and that causes many disease. That's why we celebrate World Zoonosis Day, 6 July. 6 July we have to celebrate World Zoonosis Day to aware the peoples that stop growing population. Stop growing population. Our slogan is we are two and we have to. We are two and we have to. That's our slogan. Because we are in first position, China is on second position. China is on second position. So our country slogan concerning population, we are two and we have to. But the unlettered person, remote areas persons, we have to say that uneducated persons says more hands, more money. More hands, more money. That's why they have to growing rapidly, population. So many custom also be involved in growing population. Government also making awareness concerning sterilization, like tubectomy, like vasectomy, concerning to reduce the growing population, because it's a hurdle in every direction, I have to say that. So it's all about agriculture sector, because we have our main motto in agriculture, I have to say that, because India depend on organic fertilizers, organic pesticides, not biopesticides, not pesticides like some chemicals. They have to also dilapidate our health and including environment, our soil also be affected. So many pesticides. So we have to minimize by this technique. Some Karnataka student have to mention trichoderma as a best biopesticides. That's a recently news. Trichoderma, it's a biopesticides. Because so many pesticides, the two type of pesticides, first is organophosphate and second is organochlorinated. Organochlorinated, that's the derivatives of hydrocarbon chlorine. Chlorine of hydrocarbon, that's known as organochlorinated. Like DDT, dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, it's a pesticides. And when we that's a ban in India, because when we bombarding DDT, it's reduce the calcium level inside the bird. Because they have to consume, they have to live in our nature for a long duration, I have to say that. So when we bombarding, we know about DDT, the calcium level of birds, that's what disturbed, and their eggs are break down in immature condition. That reduce the population of birds, and birds are also act like biopesticides. So that's why we ban DDT. Like benzene hexachloride, 666, gamexane. It's all about pesticides. Some is organochlorine and some is organophosphate, like malathion. Malathion. Fleet. We used to kill mosquitoes. Fleet. Killing mosquitoes, flies at home. Fleet. The chief composition of fleet is malathion. And if some amount are entered malathion in your body, that causes paralysis. Malathion, parathion, trithion, they have to bombarding on their crops. So that's why India aims to improve agriculture and also produce, organic food, healthy food, minimizing the, fertilizers. That's why India have to frame liquid nano urea. The two biopesticides, first is pheromones. We know pheromones. Pheromones is a insecto hormone. And we have to, that's a insect hormone. All female insect secrete pheromones. Questions also framed in UPSC. In previous year exam, we have to also mention now about pheromones. That's are secreted by female insect to attract male insect. We know about pheromones now. And by this we have to chemically make pheromones and we have to bombarding on your crops. All male insect, attach in your crops. We have to trap them and remove from that area. If male partner we know about remove, they have to not fertilize, and that's why we have to decrease the population of insect in that field. It's a pheromones. Your ants making a row form because of pheromones. Silkworm also secrete pheromones. Like this process we know about pheromones. It's a pheromones. As a biopesticides, I have to including pheromones, biopesticides also be framed now. That a process. We have to trap all insect by this process, like this trapping method now. Like trapping methods, I have to say that's a biopesticides. Like this, all male partner have to trap and we have to remove from that area. We have to reduce the population of insect and protect your crops easily. Some person also be an insecto lover. If you bombarding pheromones on your body, all female dog, that male dog, about male insect, trap your body surface. एक बार करके देख भी सकते हैं आप, यही पाएंगे सारा इंसेक्ट साथ में आपके आ जाएगा. तो ये डियर आजकल काम हो रहा है. मैं एक और भी पेस्टिसाइड्स की बात करना चाहूं डियर. दैट्स नेम इज रोटिनोन्स. It's a pesticides we have to rotenons as a pesticides, rotenon pesticides. It's also be a biopesticides, rotenon, because we have to extract from Deris elliptica is a plant, Deris elliptica, and by this we achieve rotenons. It's also we consider as biopesticides. It's be important for our health sector. No any side effect of your environment, of your health, of your crops, earth, we say. So pheromones and rotenons, we get rotenons from Deris elliptica is a plant. That's name is Deris elliptica. Deris elliptica. And by this we have to get rotenons, biopesticides. So India work on biofertilizer including biopesticides. We know mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is the symbiotic association, partnership of higher plant and root and fungus, root of higher plant and fungus. These days mycorrhiza available in market in ectoform and endoform also. Mycorrhiza is as a biofertilizer. Partnership of two dissimilar plant, we know about higher plant and fungus. So the fungus have to make a network in higher plant root. They have to absorb all nutrition, all micronutrients, water, and provide higher plant. They have to synthesize food and provide, also food to fungus. They have to survive its symbiotic form, symbiotic version. When we bombarding mycorrhiza, we have to moisture your soil because that's a fungus. That's our, damage. When we bombarding mycorrhiza, never scattered, never disperse, fungicides, because fungicides have to kill fungus partner, like that mycorrhiza. We have to focus on that area. सारा जब एग्रीकल्चर कवर करेंगे ना डियर, तो एग्रीकल्चर में आपसे सब ये क्वेश्चन बनेगा. Mycorrhiza, it's a mycorrhiza. It's the mycorrhiza, like this. It's a plant before mycorrhiza. There their root are, and when we add mycorrhiza, so that's root. It's a fungus. Have to make a network and catch all nutrients and provide main plant. Main plant are grow like garlic. We know garlic. The garlic root are not be entered inside the soil deep. Garlic soil. So when we bombarding, mycorrhiza on that crop, all crops, scattered, making a network inside the soil, and they have to absorb, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and provide main plant, which make them grow. So mycorrhiza is also be important. So if you something know about agriculture, so we know about some fertilizers, biofertilizers, biopesticides, and also including pesticides, because that's a correlate with question now. Trichoderma, that's also be discovered in India. It's also be act like biopesticides. So focus on liquid agriculture. So focus on application of not only in agriculture. Right now, in agriculture, first point we have to mention liquid nano urea. Liquid nano urea. लिख लेना, our Prime Minister inaugurate world first. Our Prime Minister PM inaugurate world first liquid nano urea plant. Liquid nano urea plant in Gujarat, and we mention place Kalol. India's first, world first liquid nano urea plant in Gujarat. Kalol. It's the name of place in Gujarat, Kalol. ठीक है. The main aims to synthesize liquid nano urea. The main aims to synthesize liquid nano urea to reduce 50% consumption of conventional urea. To reduce 50% consumption of conventional urea. Because when we talking about their efficiency, so also mention now efficiency, 25% efficiency of conventional urea, and 85 to 90% efficiency is liquid nano urea. When we talking about percentage of nitrogen, 4% is liquid nano urea and 46% is conventional urea. लिखना, liquid nano urea increase crop production 8%. Liquid nano urea increase crop production 8%. Liquid nano urea increase crop production 8%. कितना dear? 8%. They have to make, no, it's also be a good advantage concerning India when they make liquid nano urea. Next point, liquid nano urea also reduce urea import, also reduce urea import, also reduce urea import, and reduce soil, water and air pollution, and reduce soil, water and air pollution from urea, and reduce soil, water and air pollution from urea. It's all about liquid nano urea. That's a plant, world first liquid nano urea plant, I have to say that, Gujarat, Kalol. And something we know about efficiency, we have to learn 25% of conventional and 85 to 90% is of liquid nano urea. First they have to rate that increase now 8%. And what is the percentage of, we know, liquid nano urea, we know 4%. And in urea nitrogen is 46%. Next point right now, liquid nano DAP. Second, liquid nano DAP, diammonium phosphate, diammonium phosphate. Liquid nano DAP, diammonium phosphate. Liquid nano DAP, diammonium phosphate. लिखना, it was inaugurated by Amit Shah, Home Minister Amit Shah, in Gujarat also. Liquid nano DAP, that's are developed by 𝐼𝐶O. So one thing we have to learn in liquid nano DAP, I have to mention the percentage of nitrogen and phosphorus, those DAP which are in solid version, which are in granules form, But these days we have to make DAP in nano form. So what is the percentage of nitrogen phosphorus in liquid nano DAP, and what is the percentage of nitrogen phosphorus in DAP which are in granules form, which are in solid form? Because earlier time we have to, it is in granules, it is in solid form. These days it become nano liquid form. So their efficiency is higher now comparison to conventional DAP. Their efficiency is higher now comparison to conventional urea. So normal, the conventional DAP granules right now, conventional DAP granules contain 16% nitrogen and 46% phosphorus. It's all about composition of nitrogen and phosphorus in Again, we have to mention now DAP, which are conventional, solid version. So what's about percentage of nitrogen phosphorus in liquid nano DAP? So nitrogen is 8% and phosphorus is 16%. So right now in liquid nano DAP, the percentage of nitrogen is 8%, and phosphorus is 16%. Nitrogen is 8% and phosphorus is, matlab that percentage is equivalent to 16 and 46% because it is in nano form. It is in 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter form. So that's why that structures, that substance make a unusual property, unknown property. You purchase, we know normal DAP, that's rate we know about 50 kg. 50 kg, it's about yeah, obviously that's the main amount, I have to say that. But when we purchasing liquid nano DAP, so it's about, we say about 500 ml. 500 ml price is 600 rupees. 500 प्राइस है, 600 ml का. देखो किसान को भी तो फायदा हुआ ना, कहां वो इतना प्राइस खर्च कर रहा है. 1350 लग रहे हैं इनको, 1350, एंड बाय दिस दे हैव टू गेन ओनली इन 600 रुपीज. हाफ का बेनिफिट हुआ फार्मर को. तो देखो ऐसे ऐसे क्वेश्चन एग्जामिनर उठा देता है. ये दोनों में वर्जन है क्योंकि दोनों की एफिशिएंसी क्या है, डिफरेंट है. सो लिक्विड नैनो डीएपी वी हैव टू से अबाउट 8% एंड phosphorus we have to say 16%. It's a both we know nano version that's implemented in our agriculture. It's the efficiency of nanotech. Is it clear about agriculture sector? Any doubt concerning that point? Mention. It is clear now. For only agriculture I have to say that. Only agriculture. ठीक है. Next point mention. और भी कुछ एप्लीकेशन बताना चाहेंगे आप लोग एग्रीकल्चर में? बिकॉज बाय दिस वी हैव टू डिवाइस न्यू टूल्स, न्यू मशीन, न्यू टेक्निक दैट इंप्रूव आवर एग्रीकल्चर कंडीशन. Any fertilizer name? Biofertilizer? Mycorrhiza we know one biofertilizer. Other name of any other biofertilizer besides mycorrhiza? We heard about azolla. Azolla is also be a biofertilizer. In azolla, special blue-green algae are present. That's name is Enabina. That's name is Enabina. Azolla contain Enabina blue-green algae. Name become Enabina azolle. Enabina azolle. And we know they have fixing nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen, convert in nitrate form. Nitrate form. So azolla is used in paddy formation. Paddy formation. Azolla contain a special we know cyanobacteria blue-green algae. That's name is Enabina, and they have to live in symbiotic version. Symbiotic version, because Enabina we know have to special cell heterocyst. They have to convert we know nitrogen from environment, and by this we know they gain nitrate version. Because plant take nitrogen in which form? obviously. So main we have to say nitrate. Nitrate. Plant consume nitrogen in form of nitrate. Questions also framed in UPSC, we know, previous year. Nitrate version we know plant consume nitrogen. So it's all about agriculture sector, and we know about we have to also make so many tools, so many devices that play a vital role in agriculture field through nanotechnology. It's all about. Next point right now. Next we targeting textile. Next in textile. Textile भी mention किया है ना हमने. So mention now textile. Say something about role of textile, because we have to form fabric, many fabric by use of CNT, by use of about graphene. We have to make many textiles, fabric. One more things, that's our lotus effect. That's our lotus effect. Lotus effect. The leaf of lotus are hydrophobic in nature. Water never stick on the leaf surface of lotus because their leaf contain nanoparticles. Nano level, we know tiny molecules are present in the leaf of lotus. If water not stuck on the surface of lotus, they have to trap all we know about dust particles, and lotus keep itself clean all time. So by these scientists, they have to study about nanoparticles inside the lotus leaf, and they have to make new fabric, new cloths, new materials which act like antibacterial agent. Antibacterial agent, I have to say that. And by this antibacterial agent, they have to making so many cloths which remain all time clean, nothing use detergents and soap to clean their dust particles. That's a lotus effect. That's a lotus effect. And so many cloths are also be available, I have to say that. In case concerning, I have also be say that so many textiles are also used to protect us from bacteria, other pathogens who entered in our body, because they are unable to penetrate nano level. So our body also be safe. Body also be safe. It's all about textile. It's all about right now some point in textile. Some point in textiles we have to mention now. लिखना nanotechnology is being used to develop fabric. Nanotechnology is being used to develop fabric with unique property. Nanotechnology is used to develop fabric with unique properties, such as water resistance, and antibacterial agent, such as water resistance and antibacterial agent. That's cloth, that's textiles, that's fabric, or improve your concerning health sector, concerning also in medicine, because pathogens are not be entered inside the body if you use that fabric, that cloths. It's all about textiles. Chinese Science Academy in 2014 also observed that graphene sheets oxide have killing microbes property. I have to also provide in application of graphene, and by this they have to make a new packaging materials, packaging food materials that keeps safe food for longer time. That's point also be including food, also be including in textiles. antibacterial enzyme. Some bacteria, they have to also prove that bacteria are unable to dominate in our body. That's name is E. coli. That's name is E. coli. So graphene sheet, I have to say that have killing property to microbes like bacteria E. coli. Its name is Escherichia coli. Some Escherichia coli is harmful and some Escherichia coli is not harmful. Yeah, obviously, it's also present in cecum part of large intestine. It's a good bacteria. It's a good bacteria. But some E. coli is also be create harmful effect, like making food poisonous. But some is good. It's a good concerning in our body. Like this point, we have to understand the process now. That's all. That's your large intestine, dear. That's your large intestine. I have to say that. And it's a large intestine part. And it's our small intestine part. So it's open inside the large intestine. So the segment, the part where the small intestine is open, that is known as cecum. That is known as cecum. It means we say about cecum is the junction of large and small intestine. It's a blind sac structure. Blind sac structures in which our small intestine is open. It means cecum is the part of large intestine. Cecum is the part of large intestine in which our small intestine is open, and that cecum contain good bacteria. That's a good bacteria. Name is, again we have to say that E. coli. So that's why we have to say that some E. coli are harmful and some E. coli are not, create harm, because they are good bacteria. The main work of E. coli, that's have synthesized vitamin B12. Vitamin B12. So E. coli have to synthesize vitamin B12. We know 3 vitamins are also be synthesized in our body. Our body synthesizes 3 vitamins. First is D, in presence of sunlight, early in the morning, before 10 o'clock, and during the evening, we have to say after 5 o'clock. The sunlight is responsible for formation, synthesize D in your body, not in afternoon. If intensity is high, no any vitamin D we have to gain from sunlight. So vitamin D synthesized in your body fast. अभी सर्वे हुआ था फर्दर, अभी रिमोट एरियाज और शहर के क्षेत्रों में सर्वे हुआ था. इन दिल्ली द पर्सन्स हैव डेफिशिएंसी ऑफ विटामिन डी, एंड इफ यू हैव नो एनी vitamin D, we have deficiency of calcium also, because vitamin D have to play a vital role absorbing all calcium from your small intestine. Complete digestion and complete absorption take place in small intestine. So that's why vitamin D have to absorb all calcium from our small intestine. So it's main work of vitamin D. If you have calcium, you also goes on insomnia, loss of sleep, goes on depression, anxiety, because they never touch in sunlight. They make a home, sunlight never penetrate. That's the reason they have deficiency of vitamin D. But that bacteria is a good that have synthesized vitamin B12 in our body. That's a large intestine. If someone have to provide antibiotic, the main nature of antibiotic, that's kill bacteria. Good, bad, doesn't matter, they kill every bacteria. So antibiotic also kill E. coli. If you have to use severe amount of antibiotic, we have to test your blood. You have to decrease the amount of RBC hemoglobin, because you have to deficiency of vitamin B12. It causes pernicious anemia. In this, RBCs are not mature. Immature RBCs are formed in pernicious anemia. And vitamin B12 vitamins, they have to regulate your metabolic action. They have to accelerate your digestion now. And if you have deficiency of B12, your digestion also be affected. So that's why during antibiotic, doctors have also provide some vitamin capsules as like supplement, because that's E. coli are damaged. So that supplements work as like B12 and other vitamins. maintain your metabolic action. Your stomach also release intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor, that's a factor secreted by stomach. Intrinsic. And if a person have less amount of intrinsic factor, they have deficiency of B12, because that's intrinsic factor help to absorb all B12. That's the main work of intrinsic factor, secrete by your stomach, absorbing all B12 from the food. If you take meat, from meat we have to absorb 50% iron, and that factor is reduced in your stomach. We are unable to absorb all B12. So it's all about microbes. But Chinese Science Academy have to generate graphene oxides, and they have to use packaging of food materials to protect from E. coli. Maybe that's harmful. So next point we have to write now. Concerning energy, it's also be important segment. Energy. Right now, energy. Right now, nanotechnology has the potential to improve energy production and storage. Nanotechnology has the potential to improve energy production and storage, making it more sustainable and efficient. Making it more sustainable and efficient. Next point. So many nanomaterials are used in energy storage. We know about nanomaterials like nanowires, like nanotubes. They also be used in energy storage. मैंने मेंशन कराया था बैक सेशन में about the use of nanowires and nanotubes. Both are in field of energy storage. So write down like nanowires, nanowires. We know about nanotubes. Both are nanomaterials, nanotubes, and both functions are to store energy. It's all about energy section. India also work on renewable sources of energy, so that's why we need solar cell. And you know about quantum dots. By quantum dots we have to obviously develop slimmer solar cell by quantum dots. 2023 we know Nobel Prize in chemistry. That field is quantum dot. So slimmer solar cell also play a vital role in energy production, because India have to work on renewable sources of energy. We know nuclear fission reactor. Our atom bomb is based on nuclear fission, but hydrogen bomb, that's based on nuclear fusion. The ultimate source of energy, we know. The ultimate source of energy around the sun is nuclear fusion. But we know about France, including also, and Japan. The country name is Japan. Obviously, JT60SA. That's a reactor based on nuclear fusion. JT60SA. It's based on nuclear fusion. 6 story, only one country of the world I have to say that that's have make a nuclear fusion based reactor. Every country have to reactor that's based on nuclear fission. And France, with the help of European country, also make ITER. It's also based on nuclear fusion reactor, International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, ITER. इससे भी ब्रॉड लेवल का है वो, बन सकता है क्वेश्चन. Some energy experts say that JT60SA have two ultimate sources of energy. Because we know sun have ultimate sources of energy. In the sun, we know fusion take place, like isotopes of hydrogen 1H2 and we know about 1H3. They have to bind and form, we know about 2 helium-4, also release nitrogen and energy. So both are positive, both are positive. And if you want to attach them, they have to repel itself. Because both are positive nature. And both have to, same charges, they have to repulsion take place. So how they can combine? So we need temperature approximate 10 to the power 7 to 10 to the power 8 Kelvin temperature is need to combine both particles. And that temperature is impossible on the earth because it also be available in sun area. If you say that in nuclear fusion, not fission, in fission we have to break down larger atom into smaller, but in fusion we have to combine smaller into make larger. So both are positive nature, they have to repel itself. So how they can combine? So we need 10 to the power 7 to 10 to the power 8 Kelvin temperature and we have to combine both particles, positive particles. And that's temperature available in sun areas, not here. So how we know hydrogen bomb are formed? Because we say about nuclear fusion based on hydrogen bomb, based on nuclear fusion. So we need temperature at earth. First we have to nuclear fission. It means we making atom bomb and later on by this we have to get huge ultimate source of energy and by this temperature we have to make nuclear fusion. So when we making nuclear fusion on the earth, you first need to nuclear fission and by fission we have to get energy. So by this energy we have to attach both positive particles. Am I clear about this point? Yes or not? Because we need 10 to the power 7 to 10 to the power 8 Kelvin to combine both particles. That temperature are also be available in sun region. So how the hydrogen bomb are formed? How the nuclear fusion take place on the earth? So first we need nuclear fission. We produce nuclear fission and we need energy. By this we have to get lot of energy and by this energy we have to trap this, attach this. 6-story बिल्डिंग है JT60 है, 6-story बिल्डिंग है, टोकामैक नाम दिया गया है, टोकामैक. इट्स ऑल अबाउट JT60SA. It's all about JT60SA. JT60SA. It's all about. It's a 6-story buildings. I have to say that. Inaugurate in Japan also. Ultimate source of energy, I have to say. Ultimate source, dear. That's provide ultimate source of energy. Because we know 10 to the power 7 to 10 to the power 8 Kelvin temperature also be available. China also make artificial sun. So क्वेश्चन बन सकता है आपसे JT60SA का, क्योंकि रिसेंटली न्यूज है, कोई ज्यादा बड़ा दिन का गैप नहीं है ये. JT60SA 2023 का ही इनॉग्रेट मेंशन हुआ था. So that's also be framed as a question in 2025. Because world first nuclear fusion reactor, not fission. Fission reactor every country have to. But fusion only one country, that's Japan. But France also make bigger than Japan. ITER, International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. That reactor was made by France and European country. तो ये एक अच्छा एडवांटेज है। So it's all about energy source, we know. So later on we have to next day talking about environment, also be making a word power, medicine also be. Acha, when we talking about energy source, we have to also highlight about JT60SA, JT60SA, है ना? We have to also highlight the role of energy field of India, because India depend on renewable sources of energy. So many chips are also be available in batteries, making self charge. So all point we have to mention in next class. Today is enough. Okay, everything is clear about concept, yes or not? Approaches in nanotechnology is clear, top down approach and bottom up approach. Is it clear now? We have to learn the nanomaterials name like nanowires, nanotubes, nanoparticles, quantum dots, nanoporous. It's important because we have to boom word power. A basic understanding make in science and tech. So you need word power, क्योंकि word power होगा नहीं डियर तो आप राइटिंग स्किल को इंप्रूव नहीं कर सकते। प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन कहां से फ्रेम होंगे? तो ऑल प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन फ्रेम फ्रॉम डायनेमिक सेक्शन ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक। डायनेमिक सेक्शन आप बैक सेशन देख लो, यूपीएससी का क्वेश्चन जो पूछा गया है, ऑल क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम डायनेमिक, कुछ छोड़ करके सारा डायनेमिक ही है। बट मेंस लेवल में तो आपको पूरा ये डिटेल मेंशन करना होगा, challenges, advantage, disadvantage, we know future planning, about all things we have to mention. Every point क्वेश्चन बना बना के मेंशन कर देते हैं, इसलिए मैं बिल्कुल सिंपल टर्म में आपको मेंशन करा रहा हूं कि सिंपल टर्म में समझेंगे तो और हमारे लिए क्या होगा डियर, इजी होगा। वी नेवर बिकम बुकवर्म। बुकवर्म होना अच्छी बात नहीं है। जितना सिंपल टर्म में और अपने शब्दों में लिखेंगे ना तो लगेगा कि बच्चा खुद इसको अंडरस्टैंड किया, जिसको एक्सप्रेस किया अपने शब्दों में, तो वो अच्छा मार्किंग देता है, मेरा कहने का मतलब है। क्योंकि एक बुक की लैंग्वेज एक अदर लैंग्वेज डियर क्या होता है, अंतर अपने आप से ट्रांसलेट करके और सिंपल टर्म में चीजों को एक्सप्रेस करना चाहिए। ये भी एक राइटिंग स्किल का डियर हिस्सा है। और इतना सिस्टमेटिकली अरेंज करिए कि वन लाइन में ही, टू लाइन में ही वी हैव टू मेक मैक्सिमम सेंसेस। पूरा भाव दे दिया आपने, एग्जामिनर को कैच कर लिया। 3 लाइन में ही सेंस दे दिया ना कि एग्जामिनर पढ़ते ही भाव विभोर हो गया, क्या कहे। तो सेंस का ही पूरा भाव होता है, वी नो अबाउट, ऑल अबाउट सेंस। हिंदी के शब्द का कोई इंग्लिश टर्म नहीं होता है। हिंदी का कोई जो टर्म है वो इंग्लिश, उसका कोई वर्ड नहीं है डिक्शनरी में। वो अलग बात है कि हम लोग बिना समझे चीजों को नहीं इतना एग्जामिन कर पाते हैं। भाई कोई हमें इंग्लिश बोलता है तो हमें लगता है थोड़ा बहुत हिंदी टर्म यूज कर ले, बट दैट्स इंग्लिश मीडियम क्लास, तो इंग्लिश ही चलेगा। इट्स गुड फॉर अस, इससे हमारा भी इंप्रूवमेंट क्या होगा डियर, बढ़ेगा। लेकिन मैंने कहा कि हिंदी के शब्द कोई इंग्लिश मीनिंग नहीं होता है। मैं बोलूं हाँ तेज दौड़ना, क्या बोलेंगे तेज को? फास्ट। मैं बोलूं आपके चेहरे पर बहुत तेज है, फास्ट बोलेंगे? माई फेस इज फास्ट, क्योंकि तेज तो मैंने बोला। ये चक्कू इसमें धार बहुत तेज है, फास्ट बोलेंगे? शार्प बोलेंगे? आकाश में धूप बहुत तेज है, बोलेंगे सन इज फास्ट? वहां भी तो मैंने तेज बोला। तो नाइफ का अलग सेंस था, चेहरे का अलग सेंस है, रन का अलग सेंस है, सनलाइट का अलग सेंस है। जैसा सेंस वैसा मीनिंग। तो सेंस को पकड़ो ना, लैंग्वेज को पकड़ो, और जो लैंग्वेज को पकड़ेगा वो अच्छा कर जाएगा, मेरा मानना है। इस एज में आपको भी जज करने का तरीका तो पता है ना कि एग्जामिनर कहां से क्वेश्चन बना सकता है, कहां से कोरिलेट नहीं कर सकता है। दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव टू वर्क ऑन प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन टू कैच द माइंड ऑफ एग्जामिनर, लैंग्वेज ऑफ एग्जामिनर। और सारा लैंग्वेज का ही खेल है डियर, कुछ नहीं है, सारा लैंग्वेज का खेल है। और विनी की बहुत सारा वास्ट सिलेबस है भाई, 1 ईयर का पूरा करंट आपको अपडेट करना है। व्हाट्स अबाउट इसरो मेथड, व्हाट्स अबाउट नेशनल इंटरनेशनल कंसर्निंग एग्रीकल्चर, एनर्जी सोर्सेस, एवरी content have to dynamic in your newspaper. Daily we have to get now through the Hindu, anything. Focus on that point. So many vaccines, so many disease impact in India like Nipah. India target to make monoclonal antibody to treat Nipah. We have to also study in disease section. What do you mean by monoclonal antibody? Because India have to trial monoclonal antibody in 2025. 2025. It's a news section. We have to, take 20 doses from Australia to treat Nipah disease in Kerala. Nipah also be a zoonotic disease because it's transmitted by, bat. It's so many tests are conducted in Nipah purpose, like TrueNet test, also used in TB, also used in COVID. तो थोड़ा सा डायमेंशन को बढ़ाना होगा, वर्ड पावर को बढ़ाना होगा, और धीरे धीरे देखो, डरना नहीं है। साइंस एंड टेक में जो टर्म है भले हमारे लिए डिफिकल्ट है, लेकिन मेरा मानना है ना डियर, आप बार बार रिकैप लो, रिवीजन लो, बर्ड्स आई व्यू करो। आप देखो ना, 1 मंथ के अंदर इतने सारे टर्म आपको याद हो जाएंगे डियर कि आपको नीड ही नहीं पड़ेगा। आपसे कोई दे क्वेश्चन कि हाँ भाई, राइट ऑन ब्रीफ अकाउंट, शॉर्ट अकाउंट ऑन नेशनल नैनोटेक्नोलॉजी इनिशिएटिव ऑफ इंडिया, इतने सारे पॉइंट आप डाल दोगे ना कि लगे कि हाँ इसके पास खजाना है शब्दों का। अब मैंने कहा ना कि भाई बहुत एम है, नैनो मटेरियल्स को सपोर्ट कर रहा है, उसमें सारे नैनो वायर्स, नैनो रोबोट्स, उसके फंक्शन को एग्जामिन कर दिए, ग्राफीन के एप्लीकेशन डाल दिया, सीएनटी का एप्लीकेशन डाल दिया, ड्रग डिलीवरी सिस्टम में कॉडी गोल्ड नैनो पार्टिकल्स को ऑटेशन कर दिया। यही तो सेंस है। लगता है कि हाँ भाई इसके पास है चीजों को, पूरा डायनेमिक सिस्टम को अपडेट किया है बच्चा। तो अब आपका काम क्या है? क्वेश्चन को कोरिलेट करना, शब्दों को कोरिलेट करना, उसका चैन उठा करके यहां रख देना, उसको वहां उठा के रख देना, यही काम है आपका। अब क्वेश्चन पूछे कि भाई व्हाट्स अबाउट नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी इन इंडिया, तो इंडिया के जितने सारे टेंशन लाइक एग्रीकल्चर, वी हैव आल्सो मेंशन लिक्विड नैनो यूरिया, लिक्विड नैनो डीएपी, और भी कई ऐसे प्रोडक्ट हैं एग्रीकल्चर से लेकर के जो मेंशन है, तो आप इसमें ऐड करिए। तो धीरे धीरे आप अपने आप को इंप्रूव कर पाएंगे, है ना। तो धीरे धीरे पहले हमने शब्दों का चयन बढ़ाना, एक बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ा देनी है, चाहे वो बायोटेक हो, नैनोटेक हो, हमारा डिजीज का सेक्शन हो, ठीक ना, स्पेस टेक हो, डिफेंस हो। मैंने कहा ना 4 से 5 सेक्शन है जहां से क्वेश्चन मतलब बम्बार्डिंग होता है डियर क्वेश्चन का। अब जीन एडिटिंग तो बिल्कुल, क्योंकि आजकल जीन का ही एरा चल रहा है, हर कोई क्लोनिंग कर, हर कोई जीन म्यूटेंट कर रहा है, जीन एडिट, जीनोम कर रहा है। सो इट्स ऑल अबाउट, नेक्स्ट डे वी डिस्कस अबाउट नेक्स्ट टॉपिक। So those students who connected online, everything is clear. Any doubt? We have to mention through comment. Prem Kumar, thank you, sir. Okay. और भी कोई doubt concerning nanotechnology? You can ask me without any hesitation. Don't worry. We have to improve your science and technology easy by and by. और मुझे जहां तक लग रहा है कि आपके अंदर है एक्सप्लोर वो चीजें, जिस तरीके से मैं आता हूं और क्वेश्चन आपसे फ्रेम करता हूं, और नेक्स्ट डे आप लोग सारा सेगमेंट 1 to 1 बता देते हो, तो ये एक अच्छा पकड़ मतलब है। जो चीजें आपको समझ में आती है ना डियर, वो माइंड में क्या होता है, सेट हो जाता है, और ऐसे ही याद भी करना है। नहीं तो मैं देखता हूं बहुत बच्चे जब पढ़ने के बाद में क्वेश्चन पूछता हूं तो नाम ही भूल गए हैं, अब लगे देखने। इससे काम थोड़ा नहीं चलेगा कि बार बार आप पेपर में ही चीजों को एग्जामिन कर रहे हैं, देख रहे हैं। आना चाहिए माइंड पे, माइंड सेट होना चाहिए आपके पास। लिमिटेड भाई 7-8 टॉपिक से, बहुत ज्यादा तो नहीं है। उनके नेम ईजीओ में याद रहे तो सिंपल सी बात है भाई, बूस्ट कर जाएंगे। चलो फिर मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट डे।